time people wondered what it might be. But finally, they had begun to understand that it was a cheetah. And that cheetah became the mother of all cheetahs and also of our mountain lion. And they wondered, though, how it came to be. And my people have known for a long time how it came to be. Kutolpi, listen, I'll tell you a story. The grandfathers and grandmothers tell us that in the time before this, there was one who was called Antelope. And the antelope believed that he was the fastest thing upon the earth. In fact, he was so fast that he knew that nothing could touch him. Not only was he fast, but he also had eyesight that he could see over to the end of where the sky and the earth met. And he knew that he could always run away before anything could reach him. And soon, he became very proud of that. So proud, in fact, that he would prance around with the dust rising up from his hooves, and he would say, "I am the fastest thing there is. Nothing can catch me. I can drink the wind." Now the wind heard this, and she said, "What? He thinks he is faster than me, that he could drink me? He sees me chase the clouds across the sun, and he sees the shadows on the earth, and he thinks that's how fast I am. Oh, I wish he could truly see me." And the Maker said, "Would you really like for him to see you?" And the wind whistled in joy. "Oh, yes!" So the next day, there was a new creature that walked across the prairie. It was not like anything that had ever been seen before. It had very long and slender legs, and it moved with the flow of the wind itself. It seemed to float over the ground as it moved. It moved with the wind, and its color was like that of the grass that is cured in the hot summer sun. And it moved with that same flowing of wind in the grass. And the antelope saw it. And he was curious. He had never seen anything like this, so he trotted closer to it. He knew he was so fast, whatever it was, he would outrun it. And when he got closer, he was able to see that moving over its body were shadows of clouds, always moving, changing its shape, hard to see. And so he was more curious, and he came closer. And then it did something he never had heard before. It chirped like a bird. And as it chirped, it raised its head, and there was a white cloud that lifted it. He had never seen or heard anything like this. This was a four-legged, not one of the winged ones. And so he came even closer. And he could smell it. It was the smell of the earth being driven before a rainstorm. Full and rich, and yet it made his muscles tremble, and he did not know why. And so he came closer, so close that he could see its eyes, and it was like looking into the burning fire of the sun itself. And a jolt went through his body. And he turned and ran as fast as he could, for he knew here was danger. If he had looked back, he would have seen that the creature had laid back its ears and had leapt into the wind, and already was closing upon him. But he simply ran. It was not until he heard its paws beating upon the ground, like thunder at a distance, that he knew that it was coming. And he began to dodge, first this way and then that. But no matter how fast he would turn, the creature always was faster. For there was a white cloud at the tip of its tail, caught in a whirlwind, so that whenever it needed to turn, it just flipped around and was already there. And although the antelope had sharp hooves that would dig into the prairie, this creature had claws that never gave up, but always were digging, always out, always able to turn. Finally, in desperation, he turned and ran directly into the sun, that he might blind the creature. For that is what he always did when things were truly becoming dangerous. But had he looked closer, he would have seen that the creature's eyes were set in a black thundercloud, and that there were sheets of black rain coming down all around its muzzle. And the brightness of the sun melted in that storm. But he did not look. He only heard. And what he heard was the thudding of its paws as it came closer. And then it reached up under him and grabbed him by the throat. And it began to drink his wind. And in that moment, the antelope knew what had happened. That the wind had heard him brag, and it had come to try to teach him who he really was, and that nothing is faster than the wind. So the wind stayed upon the earth for many, many years, that the antelope might all learn their lesson, that they would not become fat and lazy. But one day, the wind said, "It is enough," and she returned to the sky. But she left behind her her children, and they still run upon the earth, and they teach us what it is to run with the wind, to know the life that flows through all of us. May they always run.